Hi guys, it's Alice. I'm excited to be back at Rosie's studio today to share with you how I made these gorgeous Christmas cards using the new All Wrapped Up collection. I came up with this lovely, really simple idea of how to make a Christmas card, and I'm going to show you how I did it. So I started off with some card bases, and then I'll explain to what I did. So these are just a really basic 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card base, and I want to show you how I recreated this sort of like little rainbow of patterns that looks really effective but is actually super simple. So what you will need for these, I'll just move these over to the side, is to pick 3 papers. I've gone with like a green, like 3 very different solid patterns to kind of create that sun rays sort of look. So I'm going for these 3, and I want to cut them down to be just a little bit smaller than the card. So I'm going to cut them at 4 inches. So I'm just going to cut them all 3 bits together because this paper isn't too thick, so it's really easy to cut with your card trimmer. So 4 inches by 5 1/4, and my paper trimmer is always just that little bit sneaky because the 5 is just over here. So there we go. So I've got 3 bits of paper cut down. As you see, they're going to sit just inside there. Now, how I went about cutting this into 3 triangles, as I've got here, 3 ones that are going to fit together nicely, what you need to do is, it's just, there's no like real science to it. You're going to use this point. I'll just make sure I'm in the camera. Put the point here, and you're just going to sort of cut a triangle and then cut another triangle so that they'll all match up and you can use all 3 pieces. So line it up on your trimmer from this bottom corner up to sort of halfway across the top, and then cut. So here's your first triangle, and then you're going to put that point in the cutter and then go like that. So then you've got the 3 pieces, and I'll move that out of the way so I can show you how that happens. So see, they're going to line up like that, and then you can take, you want this one to be the white, this one to be the green, and this one to be the red, and they will sit together really perfectly and create that really lovely like paper piece background. On my ones, you can see I've stitched them. You don't need to stitch them, they will stay on okay. So I have cut a piece of vellum. You could just use another piece of paper. I just wanted to create sort of like a base to stick them on so I could stitch them, but I will show you. I'll use this as like a layering piece, and then we'll stick them on. So just use some tape runner or glue or whatever you like to use, and then you just want to lay it down on the vellum like that. So it's attached to the vellum, but it's still not attached to the card base yet. Use the tape runner again, stick that one down. If you're going to stick sew around the edges, make sure you don't put any of the tape right on the edge because that will gum up your sewing machine. And then we're just going to put a little bit more here, and then stick that. As you can see, this is like a separate piece, and I'm just going to trim off the top. I've got that little bit of vellum just a little bit larger than the base, so that's going to go there. So I'm just going to make the base separately so I can just move it around. For these ones, what I've done is had the like little sunburst and then created a little base in the corner using some of the lovely, let me find it, there's this really lovely wood grain paper in here, and it's a nice simple one to like layer some other pieces on, so it makes it quite stand out. So I've got a circle. I've cut this using a paper punch. I think this is a 3-inch circle, but you could just trace a circle and then cut it out. And I want to lay it, how I've done it is lay it sort of the most I can over this corner so that the corner of the paper touches here, and then I'm just going to trim these extra bits off. Okay, so I've just popped a little bit of foam tape underneath the circle. I've just popped it on the corner here so it's easier to place the circle. This is super, super sticky double-sided tape, so that's probably why. Okay, so like I was saying before, just place that right over there. We want sort of like the most space we can to decorate, and then we'll just trim the extra off. Okay, so it's almost like a little sun, but a wee Christmas sun. And then what I've done is I've created a wee scene here. I've used some little houses here, and then I've done like a bit of a monochromatic decoration. So I've used the little chipboard embellishments, the foam stickers, and also the enamel stickers. So I'll show you how I did that. Might actually stick this on now. So just use some tape runner. Obviously if you were going to stitch it, you could just stitch it straight on, or stitch around the edge and then add it on. There we go. So there we go, and I am going to create a little scene using some of these gorgeous die cuts from the All Wrapped Up collection, and I will go for another little Christmas village. So what I have tried to do here is I'm just going to layer these on. I'll stick the background house on straight with glue, or tape runner in this case. And then I'm always about creating a little bit of extra dimension, so I will put some foam tape behind this one just to pop it up a little bit. But you can use anything. There is so many, oh, don't want to have that sticking out. So many gorgeous embellishments, die cuts in this, so you can create little scenes. You could just have like a main focal image. There's lots and lots. Like, how gorgeous is the deer? And then I'm just following the same sort of idea that I've done on here. So I've picked a wee sentiment from the lovely chipboard stickers, and I want it to match the background, so I'm going to pick a red one to go over here. This is just my little formula. This is obviously, you can do whatever you like, but I'm just going to pop it up a little bit because we've put the foam tape behind the circle. Layer that on there. So that is gorgeous. And then this is the fun part, picking some little enamel dots and some of these lovely puffy stickers to just sort of decorate up in here. So I'm going to pick a dark green star. And it's really subtle, so you almost can't even see it in the paper, but I just love this look of it sort of spreading out from here using similar colors. And then I'll add another little star that matches, and maybe a couple of little dots in greens to add to that side. And then the little red one down the bottom, I probably don't need too much because I've got the big embellishment there, but I'll just add a little bit extra. A little pinky side up here, and that matches in lovely. So that is the front all finished. You can just add whatever little decorations you can to sort of like match with the papers. And then to finish off, I'm just going to pick one of these lovely sentiments from the clear stamp set. You could put any of these in. You could pop a sticker on the inside. You could put one of the lovely gold foil rub-ons. I absolutely love these. These would be perfect to go in the middle of your cards. And I will go with Christmas wishes. So there is lots and lots and lots of choices actually. Now I can't decide. No, I'm going to pick this little one. I love this little typewritten one here. And this one says, wishing you love, light and laughter these holidays. So I just use a little very, very dirty acrylic block. If you're using your stamps for the first time, I just rub them on my skin a little bit, or using a rubber just to condition them a bit, because they'll be very clean and a little bit almost shiny. And if you just condition them a bit by rubbing them, it will make it get a better impression on the stamp. And then we just using some black ink, I'll just do a wee test on one of these bits of paper. There we go. And then I'll just pop that in my card, so you can just place it right in the middle. A lovely little sentiment. You could probably use a bigger one. You could pop a little sticker, a little enamel dot or anything around there, but that just makes your card look really professional. Having a wee sentiment on the inside, pop a matching one on the envelope, and you're good to go. So that is a really simple idea for a Christmas card, or you could use this idea for any kind of card. It's really simple but really effective, and I think these would be very much appreciated by a loved one. Make sure you go and check out the new All Wrapped Up collection over at Rosie's studio. It is now up for sale. Thanks for watching. Bye.